I wouldn't recommend listening to this alone. Many viewers miss the real horror by leaving early. Stay till the end, if you dare. People who lived in our neighborhood believed one thing. Nothing good happens after 11 p.m. It sounded like a superstition, a warning elders used to keep kids indoors. But after what I experienced, I know it wasn't superstition. It was survival. The routine. It all started when I began working the late shift at a warehouse outside the city. My shift ended at 10:30 p.m., and by the time I rode my bike home, it was usually a few minutes past 11. Every night, the street leading to my neighborhood was silent, too silent. Even stray dogs avoided it after 11 p.m. No lights, no movement, just a long, narrow road with flickering street lamps and houses that looked asleep. But on one particular night, things felt different. Heavier. Like the air itself was warning me. I ignored the feeling. That was my first mistake. The man beside the street. It was 11:07 p.m. when I entered the dark stretch of road that everyone feared. Halfway through, I saw a man standing under a flickering streetlight, facing the wall. At first, I thought he was drunk. But he wasn't moving at all. Not even breathing. I slowed my bike, unsure. "Sir, you okay?" He didn't turn. Instead, his head twitched, just a little, like he heard something far away. Then, without turning his body, his head tilted backward, slowly, unnaturally far. Until his face was looking straight at me, upside down. His eyes were wide and empty. His mouth hung open like it had been dislocated. I froze on my bike. The man whispered something in a cracked voice. "It's past 11. I didn't wait. I pedaled as fast as my legs could move, heart banging in my chest. When I looked back, he wasn't there anymore. He didn't walk away. He didn't run. He simply vanished. I reached home shaking. I didn't sleep, and I prayed it was some kind of hallucination. The warning. The next day at work, I told my friend Bilal, who lived near my street. His face turned pale. "You stopped?" he asked. "You talked to him?" "Yeah, I thought he needed help." Bilal shook his head frantically. "You never stop after 11 p.m. on that road. Never. Whatever stands there isn't human." I forced a laugh. "Come on, man, you sound like the old people." But he wasn't joking. There's a reason the whole street stays indoors after 11. People have seen shapes standing under the streetlights. They look like humans, but the moment you get close, they do things no human body can do. My stomach tightened. What happens if you talk to them? Bilal swallowed hard. "They follow you." I brushed it off, but deep inside I knew something was wrong. The scratching on my window. That night, I decided to come home early, before 11. But a repair problem at work delayed everything. By the time I left, it was already 10:55 p.m. My heart raced the entire ride home. I took a longer route, avoiding the dark street, but it didn't help. The entire town felt different that night, like something unseen was awake. I reached home at 11:20 p.m. My parents were already asleep. I locked my door, drank water, and tried distracting myself with my phone. At 11:47 p.m., I heard it. A soft scratching at my bedroom window. Slow, long, like nails dragging on glass. I froze. My room was on the second floor. No tree branches near the window. Nobody could reach it. I forced myself to peek through the curtain. A pale hand rested against the glass. Not banging. Not trying to break in. Just resting. The fingers were unnaturally long, bending slowly like they were searching for a crack. I stepped back, covering my mouth to stop myself from screaming. Then a voice whispered from the other side of the window. "You talked to me." My skin turned to ice. It was the same cracked voice from the man under the streetlight. I didn't answer. I couldn't. The scratching continued until dawn. The mirror incident. For 3 days, nothing happened. I stayed indoors after sunset, terrified to go outside. On the fourth night, around 11:05 p.m., the power suddenly went out in our house. Only our house. The neighbors across the street still had lights. I used my phone's flashlight and went to the bathroom to wash my face, hoping cold water would calm me. As I leaned over the sink, I felt the temperature drop. My reflection in the mirror flickered, like a glitch. I straightened up slowly. My reflection wasn't copying me. My real body was breathing fast, chest rising and falling. But my reflection was completely still. No breath, no movement, no blink, just staring at me with wide, empty eyes. Then it smiled. My body didn't. That smile was long, stretched too wide, exactly like the man on the street. A familiar whisper filled the bathroom. You shouldn't have stopped that night. My reflection reached out toward the inside of the mirror, pressing its long fingers against the glass. I fell backward in fear, hitting the door. The reflection leaned closer, whispering, "Come outside." The lights flickered on. My reflection returned to normal. But I knew it wasn't over. The final encounter. 2 days later, I made a decision. I was going to stop taking the late shift. I couldn't risk traveling past 11 p.m. anymore. But fate didn't care. My supervisor begged me to stay one last late shift because 2 workers were absent. I agreed, and I regretted it immediately. When I checked the time after clocking out, it was 10:58 p.m. I rushed across the city on my bike, heart pounding. I almost made it, but when I reached the beginning of the dark road, the streetlights flickered, and there he was, the same man, standing under the lamp, facing the wall, not moving, not breathing. I kept riding, pretending not to see him. But at the exact moment my bike passed him, his head snapped sideways toward me. His mouth opened wide, wider than any jaw should go. A voice filled the air. Don't look back. I pedaled so hard I almost fell off. I didn't look back, not even once. I reached home shaking uncontrollably. But when I stepped inside, my mother stopped me. Why do you look scared? She asked. I couldn't speak. She took a step closer, confused. And then, from behind me, outside the door, I heard it, breathing, slow, deep, standing right behind me. My mother's eyes widened. She wasn't looking at me. She was looking over my shoulder. And she whispered, "Who came home with you?" Aftermath. I slammed the door shut, locked it, and crawled into a corner of my room. The breathing outside lasted until sunrise. I quit my job the next day. I never went out after 11 p.m. again. Even now, years later, I still hear scratching on my window some nights. Sometimes I see a shape standing under the street lamp when I look outside. Never moving, never blinking, just waiting. Because once you see them, once you speak to them, they never stop following you. If this story stayed in your mind longer than it should, leave a like, subscribe to Grim Wave, and tell me in the comments what part disturbed you the most.